The Yuncheng 571 frigate docks at Hong Kong's Victoria Harbour for a 5-day visit. Just behind is the Haikou 171 destroyer. The vessels, part of the 10th Chinese Naval Escort Task Force, are two of the Chinese Navy's main warships. Their arrival at the Chinese military base in Hong Kong comes at a time of rising tension in the South China Sea. A new report from security analysts at the International Crisis Group warns of a growing maritime militarization. Stephanie Kleiner-Albrandt is the group's project director for Northeast Asia.
In China, the South Sea Fleet, which is the one responsible for the South China Sea, has traditionally been the least well endowed of all the three fleets. And so these tensions in the South China Sea are a perfect justification for their modernization.
The 3.5 million square kilometres of the South China Sea are variously contested by China, Malaysia, the Philippines, Brunei and Vietnam. Last year, Vietnam accused Chinese patrol boats of interfering with one of its oil and gas survey ships. Tensions between China and the Philippines have soared because of a set of disputed islands, known in English as the Scarborough Shoal. Last week, the United States and the Philippines held a joint live-fire naval drill, prompting China to warn Washington against getting involved in the region. But on the eve of a visit to Beijing, US Secretary of State Hillary Clinton insisted Washington is not taking sides.
As a Pacific power, we have a national interest in freedom of navigation, the maintenance of peace and stability, respect for international law.
The International Crisis Group says the lack of legal clarity about competing territorial claims is central to the rising tension. But Professor Stephen Tsang, director at the China Policy Institute at the University of Nottingham, suggests China may have wider strategic aims.
What they really are after is not so much the territorial bit, but to be able to basically get the region to accept that that is the Chinese sphere of influence, that they will all accept Chinese leadership or preeminence in that part. If they do, then they would then wish the Americans not to be so deeply involved, and therefore that will become if you like, almost a Chinese lake.
China says it plans to present a maritime border claim based on the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. But with such strategically important and resource-rich waters, analysts say finding agreement between so many competing nations will be difficult. Henry Ridgewell for VOA News, London.